Who's recording now? So Mr. Bloxham back with the pies. This is the pupils here. This one has not got a loose bottom, so these are slightly harder. So you'll need to watch this. Ruby, you need to watch this. So we turn it upside down and they come straight out. They don't always. You can tap it, you can smack it on the table, you can get a knife and go around the whole outside. But this one comes straight out. If they're greased, they come out and it's cooked on the bottom. So that one's done. And put them on the cooling mat. This one, this one, if they've got the loose bottoms, they just come out straight away normally. They're not always easy to come out. If they're really hot, they're quite difficult. So this was, one of these was Ruby's, that's Ruby's, that's yours, Rosie, isn't it? That one, no, did I take one of yours out? No. Oh, it's yours, then okay, that's yours. Oh, you didn't have the loose bottom, did you? You didn't have the loose bottom, so no, what I did is yours. Oh, I showed you, it's all here, so you can just take that one back in a minute. So, now with this one here, it doesn't look very well glazed. Do you see this apple tart here? So I've got some apricot jam here. So we just brush it with like a jam, and then it looks shiny, and it looks like an orange colour. So that's quite a good glaze there for that one. These ones here, the lattice one. Now I had some pastry and apple left, so I got a whole apple, peeled it and cooled it, and I covered the whole apple up like that, yeah? Morgan, you watch him, you'll see him if yours is cooked, that's fine. So I'm going to put one on the black slate and one on the white plate. Now what you can do, if these are really hot, don't pick them up like that because the pastry won't be hot, but the apple will. You'll need to pick it up with a fish slice, which is one of these, to move it around. So if it's really hot and yours are hot, you have to move it with a fish slice, because this now, mine have been out, they're quite tough now. I wouldn't drop it on the floor with a blade, but it won't break easily. Look. I could more or less throw this up in the air and catch it. Your ones, the hotter they are, the weaker they are. So if these are cold, they go quite firm. So now I've got some cream here. So I've got a piping bag out ready. So there's a secret with the piping bag. Watch this. You have to roll it down. We get a tablespoon. Do that in a minute when I finish. Cheers, Ella. Push it down. You're not getting the cream because there's only a little bit here. So it's just to show you, for exam, you do this. So then we do a nice rosette of cream. Yeah, rosette of cream on this one. Then I'm going to do some different designs on here. So to make it nice and simple, I was going to get a little make an apple shape, but I'm going to do 2 teaspoons because that's nice and easy. I've got some powdered sugar. And we're going to use some powdered sugar. In England, we call it icing sugar, but in America, they call it powdered sugar, meaning icing sugar. They call it all-purpose flour. We call it plain flour and things like that. So slightly different names. So we put a crisscross pattern, but a fruity pattern or some words would be good here. But this is simple because you've got it in your drawer. So the black slate does quite well for that. Where's that cinnamon gone? Who's seen the cinnamon there? Well, it's the cinnamon on the table if they've taken it away. Because what I could do is some cinnamon icing sugar on this one. Was there a bit of cinnamon, please, Jenna? And I'm going to go through a couple of questions. So on the answers here, let me just tell you some of these and you can write these straight in a minute. So we've got Bramley apples. Cooking apple and eating apple, the differences. Cooking apples need cooking, they're sour, and they're normally larger, and they go brown quicker. That's 4 reasons. What is it called when apples go brown? Examic browning. How can you stop apples going brown? Putting them in water, cooking them straight away, covering them, or putting lemon juice on. There's 4 main ways. What are the main vitamins in apples? Apples are ACE. Apples are ACE, A, C, and E. What else? Where is most of the fibre in an apple? Who knows that? Where's the fibre in an apple or a potato?
The core. The skin.
The skin, correct. What is the extra ingredients? What is the extra ingredient in Dutch apple tart? I did make that today. It's got sultanas in it, so you can put sultanas in it. It could be called Dutch apple tart. What are the 2 names of apple sponge? Dutch apple sponge, or you can get a thing called Eve's pudding. What is French tart often glazed with? Apricot jam. Name 2 spices that go with apple, cinnamon or cloves. Name 3 ways to make apple pie healthier. So you can tell me 5 ways to make apple pie. So you can tell me how to make apple pie healthier. Put your hands up. Yes.
Add sweeteners instead of sugar.
Correct. So there's 5 ways to make things healthier. Less sugar, less salt, less fat, more fibre, more fruit, basically, more fruit and veg. So he said how to reduce the sugar. So that's one, is by putting sweetener in. Who can say another one then? That's one. That's one for sugar. How can we put less fat in it? Put your hand up, less fat.
More water.
No, just put less fat in it. So we put half fat to flour in, so you could just put a quarter of fat to flour in. So this would have 75 grams of margarine in it. You could put 40 grams or 30 grams, 35 grams, 37.5 grams, that would be fat. So I've got some cinnamon sugar here. Now cinnamon goes with apple, and also this will show up on the white plate. So I'm going to use the 2 spoons to save some washing up. Now, the white does show up on that, but this will be a little bit brown. And you could do things like flavour the cream in here. We didn't flavour the cream. You can get a thing called chantilly cream, which has got vanilla and sugar in it. I should have done that, but I forgot to do that. So, and as you can see here, I've garnished them up. So in a minute, you're going to do this. So as you can see, that could be, and you could do homemade ice cream for your exam. So that would be called a lattice apple pie, and this one's called a French apple tart. Yes, Morgan, last question. Oh, and you can make custard with it. Great one. Now you can make normal custard with like a cornfloury mix, or you can make a thing called a sauce anglaise, which is egg custard, which is hot milk with egg yolks and sugar. So they would be good. I think homemade ice cream would be even better. And we've got a homemade ice cream machine, because homemade ice cream sounds a bit more impressive than whipping cream up or making custard. But custard, egg custard, is quite hard. That's thank you from Bay House School. So.